Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give a shout out to official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-wing author Mia Mosensia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mia Mosensia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by many Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Also on PayPal and Anchor FM/support. And for some cool gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/the Mike Wagner Show. And for more great gift ideas, including t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and also more books by Mia Mosensia, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosensia and order today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's an actor from the other side of the pond in the UK, and he's been in quite a number of films, believe it or not. He's been in The Governors. He's also been in The Final Haunting. He's also been in Genesis, Kingsman 2, War Machine, and Glue as well, and Queens of Mystery, and just all kinds of productions he's been in. He's a veteran actor, quite fairly known in the London area as well. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in the beautiful downtown England area, the very, very multi-talented actor and a wonderful gentleman, David Biscoe. David, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon, Michael. Nice to be here.
Well, it's great to have you on board too. So you've been in quite a number of films as well too. You've been involved in The Governor, also The Vicious Dead, and also the Contract, Genesis, Final Score, Darkest Hour, Death and Life. It's almost like a king scroll of all kinds of things. You've been on TV like Glue, Harry Price, Ghost Hunter, and Holby, The Royals, and you got Liar, you got Hard Sun, Save Me, a lot more, and The Little Drummer Girl. I mean, just a lot more. A king scroll worth probably takes hours for the Queen to recite. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first got started, David.
Well, it started at school. Always had a thing with drama at school. But when you start, well, I don't know if you have the same thing in the States, but you get to a point in your senior school where you have to pick options. So in some of the options, like you could do performing arts, or you could create like painting, drawing art. And I always felt that I was better at the drawing, and there was a little bit of a stigma to the drama, because it seemed to be a bit girly to some of the boys there. So you kind of veered away from that. So you couldn't do the 2 arts at the same time. So started there. But that was my main interest. And then after that, I went away from it. I didn't get involved after school. I just got myself a job and worked around. And then I got into working for a place called Nevenden Manor, which they do like live theatre events. And so that you would have groups of children come round, and we did like the Wizard of Oz, and I was the Cowardly Lion, and you would perform to the children. Then that group would go, and then the next group would come in. And then through there, I got into people saying, "Oh, get into this film," and sign me up with agencies and things. And it's just gone from strength to strength, really. I do a lot of TV more than anything. You have a lot of these live drama, true life drama things. So I've done quite a lot of those, and been with actors, like Martin Freeman, for example. So it's looking good. Slowed down a little bit because of the coronavirus, but
Hmm. And you mentioned about Martin Freeman. Who are some of your other favorite actors you enjoyed working with, or who are some more famous ones that you've worked with?
Oh, Sir Anthony Hopkins was really good. Did King Lear. I don't know if you got it over there in the States, but we actually filmed down in Dover Castle. Emma Thompson was there. Yeah, yeah, it was really good, and he was so nice. Stayed behind with people to do photos and talk about his other programs and stuff he was doing. So yeah, he was really good. Really liked working with him.
Mm. And it was mentioned. It was funny you mentioned about King Lear. We happened to watch that. That was just an amazing series.
Yeah, yeah, it was really good. And it was great to be fun, part of that. Very cold though down at Dover Castle when they filmed it. Absolutely freezing.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to take a place in Knights of the Round Table and get cozy as well too. And what was that one precise moment that influenced you into what you're doing today?
Oh, there's many. I think really the biggest thing was first and foremost was the Star Wars things. I just had, as a child growing up with those, but also Clint Eastwood. I just loved the Clint Eastwood films, and I never really consider myself very good, but he's so good without even saying words, and I just thought to myself, if I could do that and look good on camera without having to say anything. But yeah, that was the big influence for me. Clint Eastwood.
And he gives you the look like, "Go ahead, punk, make my day."
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, you hear stories. I think it's Tom Hanks one where he just says he doesn't say cut or action. He just says that'll do. Yeah, he's directed.
It made me think of that movie Babe when he mentioned "That'll do." It says, "That'll do, pig. That'll do."
Yeah, yes, exactly. He
Mhm.
said he'd give you a stare as well. Give you a go ahead.
What was your favorite Clint Eastwood movie?
Oh, he's done a lot, hasn't he? One that he's directed, I think was Pale Rider. Was it Pale Rider? Really liked. But the ones that he didn't direct was like it's got to be the spaghetti westerns, the good, bad, and the ugly, and Fistful of Dollars and stuff.
Hmm. And,
Yeah.
and what were your thoughts of? I think it was in that last movie. I think what was it Torino that he was in too. That he was
Gran Torino, yes.
Torino. Yes, that's right. And he drove that car, which is a '74 Ford Torino. What were your thoughts on that movie?
Oh, I thought it was brilliant. It kind of is almost it's just the way that it's shot. It's very moody and dark. Yeah, I really like that. But that was quite a while ago, wasn't it?
Hmm.
2016 or something, I think, wasn't it? 2017.
I think it was 16 or 17. He was also another Western too, and I can't remember which one it was. So I'm trying to remember.
Unforgiven, was it?
What's that?
Unforgiven, was that
Unforgiven,
one?
that's the name of it. Okay. I got that crossed up with Yuma for some reason, but Unforgiven, that was a really good one.
Yeah, that was a very good movie. Yeah, it was
Hmm.
like a gunslinger, wasn't he? An ex-gunslinger.
Oh yeah. And I still remember those Dirty Harry movies as well too. And I think I still the one scene that still sticks in my mind where they tried to I think it was the end that they tried to cross the train track in their Dodge Charger. Train hit, car blew up, and that was the end of the movie. I think that was one of the Dirty Harry ones, I believe, or I
Yeah,
can't remember which one.
yeah, Dirty Harry's. I do like that. Yeah, there was another good films that he were in, series that he was in. I'm not sure whether he directed any of them. I probably need to look up, but yeah. But again, another character where he doesn't need to say a lot. His visual expressions and his mannerisms carry the films.
Mhm. Right, yeah, and also, who are some of your other favorite actors and actresses growing up besides Clint Eastwood and Tom Hanks? Who are some other
Uh,
favorites?
well, growing not so much growing up because he came after people like Brad Pitt. I think are really underestimated because people look at them, him and Johnny Depp, and they look at visually and think, oh, he's a nice looking guy, and it kind of, for me, I don't think they get the recognition for the roles, and particularly Brad Pitt. I think he's tremendous, really clever man. Uh, who else do I like? God, there's so many to mention. Harrison Ford, He's done some really good films over the years. Yeah, loads to think on.
Hmm. I also remember a story about Harrison Ford too, that he worked as a carpenter, and he also was a one-time assistant manager. I think it was at a Pier 14. And he got fired because he came in like 5 minutes late after lunch. He's like everybody else was doing it. So that was a really interesting story about Harrison Ford, all the things he did before he finally got his first break. I think it was American Graffiti. I think in 70, 71, he was what was he, like 39 or something at the time?
Yeah, yeah. Just it's well, there's a story with him on the Star Wars set over. They filmed over here in the Warner Brothers Studios. Is it Warner Brothers or Pinewood
Hmm.
Studios over here in the UK, where he got his leg broken, and apparently somebody had pressed the button, wondered what the button did, and pressed the button, and the door came down, shut on his leg.
Oh.
And I always thought to myself, that would have been me. That I would have been that person that said, I wonder what this button does. Yeah. Then shortly after that, he crashed a plane, didn't he? I think he had a plane crash or something, or car crash.
Yeah, I think it was a plane crash and somehow survived. And I think I'll know what exactly happened. I says, wow, that was one heck of a miracle. Survive a plane crash like that. You got to be lucky.
Yeah, blessed.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And of course, we'll talk about some of the other films as well, too. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, check out our, also time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab you a copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide on Geo 7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, also on PayPal and Anchor FM/support. We're in some cool gift ideas. Go to amazon.com/The Mike Wagner Show. And for more great gift ideas, including t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and more, and also some great books, go to amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia and order today. We're here with the wonderfully very talented veteran actor David Biscoe out of the UK here on the Mike Wagner Show. And we ran off a king scroll of all the accomplishments you did. And you also have been in Paddington 2. You also been in Casualty. You also been in, wow, look at this, The Foreigner, Star Wars, Han Solo. And we did mention about that as well, too. You had Wonder Woman. You had The Legend of Tarzan. And also you had Winnie the Pooh, Goodbye Christopher Robin. And this has all been happening as of late. I mean, it is just so amazing what you have. I mean, you have to say this, of maybe 2018, 19, you've had a very good year in terms of films.
Yeah, and, can't complain. As I say, we did sort of have the lull after in the industry after the first lockdown during the pandemic, but then once that lifted, I got busy again, and I was. Do you guys familiar with the TV show EastEnders?
The what's that?
The TV show EastEnders. It's a British thing, like Cockneys, and you're probably not. I don't know if you get it over there.
You say it's the Avengers or Extenders? I'm trying to understand.
EastEnders.
Okay, all right. I'll have to look that up, and check that out. But I'm glad you mentioned as well too, and maybe about some of the other films you've been in, and Paddington, Winnie the Pooh, and it seems like that you've been some family friendly films and just play some very lovable characters. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you're never sure whether you're going to get cut and whether you're going to, what scenes they're going to keep in. Um, uh, as I do love the films, doing films, but TV tends to be a little bit more friendly because you end up on the big films. You've got so many people. They're such fast productions, and it's amazing because with you just need one of those elements in a production to not be working, and the whole thing goes. It could be the electricians. If they're not working and doing their job, then the production ends. The sound, the filming, the editing, there's so much involved. And obviously on a grander scale when you get to the movies. So yeah, that's why I tend to gravitate more to the TV stuff these days.
Hmm. And of course, being involved in TV, and in fact, I forgot to ask you, what are some of your favorite TV shows growing up?
Oh, I love The Walking Dead. Big horror fan. Of course, that's coming on the last season now.
Hmm.
Um, Breaking Bad, I enjoyed that. 24 with Kiefer Sutherland, that was a really good show. It was a very clever show, actually. Game of Thrones. I believe they're doing like a prequel to Game of Thrones. They're working on. What else? Peaky Blinders. I don't know if you get that. That's like the Birmingham in Britain
Hmm.
back in the 1920s and 30s. The gangs that went around then.
Hmm.
Yeah, lots of TV shows. I'm not a big. The only one I really watch consistently is The Walking Dead. The others I would record and then binge watch. So I'm not a huge TV sit down and watch a TV show.
I mean,
And I never
lately,
watch it. I don't like watching what I've been in, and it's not something I would think. Oh, I'm going to go and sit and watch that because I'm in it. The only way I would do it was if it was something, if it's a show that I would normally think, oh, I'd like to watch that. Then I would do it. But I've been, as you said, Holby and EastEnders. I never watch those shows, so even when I'm in it, I don't
Mhm.
really see myself.
Mhm. And of course, everybody likes to binge watch. That's been the big thing with Netflix. And I have to say this, I probably last like 3 shows of binge watching, and off I do something else. I mean, that's just my thing. So
Yeah, binge. Yeah, Netflix and Amazon have been probably for a lot of people during the lockdown as well. It's got huge usage, I think, because of that. There's
mhm.
more people are tuning in.
Hmm. And of course, I was thinking about British programming. I remember getting first exposed to it. Monty Python's Flying Circus. That was one of the funniest shows I ever watched. And
Yeah, they're good. Did you ever see the 40 Towers that
oh,
John Cleese?
yes, I did watch some of it. And the way it runs, it's like, come on, get some breakfast here.
Yeah, yeah. And it's of course some of the episodes they've kind of pulled because they're not politically correct now.
Hmm.
There's one with the Germans where he's talking about the Germans. Um, Apparently they're banned out on some of the TV stations now.
Hmm. And we're just talking about that the other day, that shows like Monty Python, movies like Blazing Saddles or Laughing in America, they weren't politically correct 40 years ago. Nowadays it would have been banned from TV, and now there's word that the Muppets had put on a warning label saying that the majority of the content is offensive. And I went, boy,
I,
Kermit, what's next? Kermit the Frog, not permitted to use the F bombs or anything like that, or what?
yeah, you've got to think there's like a mixed relationship going on there with the pig and the frog. So, that's quite in keeping with what they're trying to push anyway. So I don't know why yeah, that's an odd one. That's a real odd one. The
But of course,
Muppets. It's been around forever. I
mhm,
wonder what Jim Henson would think.
of course, when they did the whole thing like of The Office, where Miss Piggy dumps Kermit, and then he goes with Denise, which is a similar frog as well too, and there's all kind of drama, and people were just like, what would Jim Henson think? And he'd be like, Kermit the Frog, just
Yeah.
ready to kill somebody.
Yeah. I generally, when I read that, there's people out there making some strange decisions on what we should be allowed to watch. I feel that we're becoming a censored world
Hmm.
now,
Right.
and you have to be careful what you say. You have to be careful, and particularly, especially if you're a high-profile celebrity, you've got to be careful.
Hmm. And also saying too, I was reading about comedians as well too. A lot of the comedians have stopped touring the college circuit because they've gotten very politically correct. They feared they're going to offend somebody, get sued, and whatever else. And there's one thing I'm going to say about the Mike Wagner show: you don't need to be politically correct. You can say what you like. So I'm not going to censor you one bit. Don't even worry about it. So
Yeah, but the thing is, if I said something and you aired it, somebody would say, "Oh, I'm offended by that," and then that's the trouble nowadays. There's always someone offensive. Rowan
right.
Atkinson, I think, said something about that, about people being offended
Hmm.
too easily.
Right. And of course, I think you should put warning labels on it. Deal with it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's I can't see it getting any better now. I think they've crossed that line now where they'll be making people thinking where they're going to be writing a script and thinking, "Oh, I can't put that in," and it could be really good for the story, but they're well, if I put that in, then the film might not get shown.
Hmm. Right. Or it might get sent underground too. And do you think, getting a job in the industry is going to be easier, the same, or difficult with the new standards being put in, like with COVID, political correctness, and all that? Do you think it would be easier, or do you be more difficult to get some work?
Um, I don't think it's going to make much difference. I think the difference will be the quality of the work that you'll be able to get. There's a lot of independent filmmakers over here, and they do some really good stuff. I just had a funeral of one of them on Tuesday. A good friend of mine I work with
Mm,
on one of his films, passed away of cancer.
mm,
Um, but even he was, his new films that he was planning was thinking a bit more politically correct. So yeah, I don't think it will affect you getting work, but I think it's just the type of work that's going to change. I was working on something the other day. I mean, it's this COVID thing. It's just absolutely, it's mind-boggling because they had somebody there with a 2-meter extendable pole and measuring the distance between you with this pole and the next actor. And I'm thinking, what? You don't need to do that. You really don't need to do that. You're in a closed set. You're sitting in, it's all indoors, even though you've got the mask on. You're taking it off when obviously when they go say action. But I don't know. It's just getting mad.
hmm. And of course, you also mentioned that you seem to enjoy TV. You've been in Glue, Harry Price Goes Hunter, Holby, The Royals, and also Harlots, and Man in the Orange Shirt, Liar, The Crown, and of course EastEnders. You did talk about, and I'm looking at Mike. I think we did hear some of it. In the States, Save Me, The Investigator, The Crown, and a lot more, and maybe just recap some of the TV appearances. Maybe how about the ones that kind of stood out in your mind?
One called A Confession.
Hmm.
That was based on an actual, and that was the one with Martin Freeman, and that was based on an actual. He was a taxi driver, and he's a serial killer. But the actual story was, it was the character that Martin Freeman was playing was a detective, and you probably have the same thing with the police over in the States. There's a thing called PACE, the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, and it has guidelines that the policeman would have to adhere to get a confession out of someone,
Hmm.
or indeed to arrest someone and give them their rights and everything. And what he did was they were looking for this. They didn't know about the other girl. They knew about this one person, and he felt that if he'd got him into the police station, he would have just the duty solicitor would have just said no comment and made him say no comment. And they were thinking that she was still alive. So he decided that if he got him out somewhere and took him for a drive up in the countryside, that it was no aggression or anything like that. It was just trying to be friendly to the guy and see whether he'd open up. And he did. And he told them, about another girl. But because he didn't follow their guidelines, he basically lost his job. Even though that he'd found the girl, the missing girl, discovered about the second girl they didn't know that he had killed. So yeah, he's Stephen Fulci, his name was, the policeman. So you can Google that. He suffered a lot. It was almost like they hung him out to dry. So that was a really good one to work on. Did lots of days, lots of nights, lots of driving. There's another one called Code 404, which I did a lot of just last year, just after the lockdown. And that's almost like a futuristic crime drama thing, comedy. Some funny bits in there that I'm not allowed to talk about, but I'll stand in there when they're doing it, and I'm trying not to laugh. Yeah, it's good.
It's funny you mentioned about something about funny bits, and maybe what are some of the funniest moments you had, like on and off camera? It can be TV, film, or stage, or anything like that. Maybe some more of the funnier stories you've been involved in.
There's a couple. I did LOLO in on stage at the Romford Theatre, and I don't know if you're familiar with LOLO, but it's a World War II comedy, and it was a TV show, it was the French occupation of Germany, and the two British airmen that got stranded there, and the resistance, and it was quite funny. And I played this character called Lieutenant Gruber, who was very camp, and was a German officer. And we're doing this on stage, and I'd suggested that there's a bit in there where he has a cigar, and the French girl gives him this exploding cigar. So I suggested, because how they were going to do it was the lights were going to go out, and I said, well, let's get another cigar and peel it back, like the Roadrunner type of thing when it peels back like a banana. And I said, and then I'll go off and black my face up. And so we did that, and I think it was like 2 or 3 days into the run. I had a cue from then from the next scene, because I go up when the cigar explodes and the lights go out, I go off stage, and then they carry on with another scene. And I had this cue where the general comes in and he's looking around, and my cue was when he said, "There's many people dressed as Hitler in here," because everybody was dressed as Hitler. And so I'm standing at the top, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I heard my line. So I've just minced down to the front of the stage. And it was the way he looked at me. He didn't look at me like it in the other days of the run. He just looked, it was like a shocked look. And that made me think, I doubted myself and thought he wasn't expecting me there. So I've come down at the wrong time. So I just stayed in character. And excuse me, General, I seem to have come down at the wrong time. And I minced back up the stage. And I'm looking down the end of the theatre, and the director's at the end waving me back on, get back on. So yeah, that was one. Another fun thing I did was, the film The Lady Killers?
Lady Killers, yes.
Yes, so we did that on stage, and I played Constable MacDonald and Lady Tromlyton. So I had to dress up as an old lady and come on when they did that, and that was real good fun. But film-wise, what was I doing? There was one called, that was a TV thing. It never ever got made, but we started filming it, and it was called The Scene. And so on Action, I was supposed to have something rings a doorbell and I'm supposed to go. And we were in this really old cottage, and so the ceilings are quite low. And I'm trying to sort of, on action, I'm trying to make sure I don't bash my head. And I forgot about the step and tripped over the step. The other one was glue. We was running through the woods. And the director kept saying, "Oh, let's just do another take. We're running through these from this stinging nettles and logs." I said, "Oh, you're only trying to do this because you want to catch one of us falling over." And because he's laughed, he said, "No, we'll just do one more." I've gone back up the hill. I've gone running down this hill on action, and I've just took a different route, hit this log, and went face first into a load of nettles.
No.
And I went to, I told you, did you get that on film? Yeah, that was good. But little red spots all over my face.
And also too, working with animals, children, and everything else, that's also another challenge as well too. And maybe just being around animals too, that presents a challenge in some films you've been in.
Yeah, I think I've not had a lot of films with animals, other than, say, the scene in the Solo movie that never got shown, and they had the dogs. But there was a thing that I was doing. I think it was an American show as well, because they film it a lot over here. And I was playing a parent. This young girl was supposed to walk across this field, and she was so pleasant, really pleasant. She was chatty, and I was asking what she'd done, and she goes to theatre and drama school and all of that. But throughout the day, you could just see her attention span waning, and she just started rolling all over the floor in the mud and it's, the soccer pitch lines and like white chalk marks. She's rolling in that, and I'm saying, "You're going to get all that on your costume." "Oh, I don't care. I don't care." And I'm thinking, and I got to the stage where I'm thinking, "God, somebody take this kid away from me,
Mom."
She just completely lost it after a while. Generally, they're pretty well behaved, and they switch them out. They tend to try and use twins, I think, so that while one's on, the other's resting, and then they can switch them in.
That's rather common too. Just like with Full House, you have Mary Kay and Ashley. It's like they'll pretty much just play the same, be the same, whatever else. You got stand-ins and all that. And you talk about the pandemic as well too. What are some of the things were you doing during the pandemic? Like say with maybe just shooting virtual, writing scripts, or anything like that, or any projects you were doing during the pandemic?
I was working at Neverton Manor, funny enough, because I'm also, which I've never said, was I do a bit of gardening and landscaping, so that kept me busy when I couldn't film, and it still does. If I've got no days, I've still got a few days that I can go out a week to keep me busy. But I'm writing a script at the moment. I'm almost done with it. Then I'll probably put it away for a few months and then go back and revise it. I don't know whether I will get the funding to get it made, but I don't really want to make it without a budget. So that's called A Girl of His Dreams, and it's a bit of like a supernatural Fatal Attraction kind of thing.
Oh, interesting. I remember that movie, Fatal Attraction. Wow, that was
yeah. That was a powerful film, wasn't it?
Yes, it's like I don't want to give away the ending. It was too powerful. Like,
yes, but I mean, clearly mental illness had a big part in that film. But Glenn Close's character had serious mental issues, didn't she? So she portrayed that really, really well. Amazing actress.
And I think Michael Douglas was in that as well too, and he was just amazing. I think that was that won actually quite a few Oscars, I believe.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He's not done much since, has he? I think he's still married to Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Right, yeah, and I think they haven't done much lately too. But the news had been before he passed on was it Kirk Douglas hitting the century mark? That was something.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, is he still with us? I think he is, isn't he?
I think so, and I think his wife turned 100. They're like the what was it, like the only living centurion couple that's alive, or maybe just a few. I mean, the focus has been on that instead of Michael lately, though.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose Michael might like that though, if he's there, because it's a horrible thing to say, but you don't know how long he's going to be with us, so
Mhm.
might as well enjoy the limelight while it's still given to him.
Right, exactly. And I think I remember watching Spartacus, one of Kirk Douglas's earlier movies, and he was one of those from the golden age that actually ruled Hollywood. And although he was an actor, he had the ability to tell directors what to do, how to do it, and how to suggest. And he had the power just like that, Kirk Douglas.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I met Tony Curtis, that was actually in Spartacus as well. And by that time, it was one of these Comic Con things, and he was in a wheelchair with his big Stetson on, but his hands were like shovels, massive hands. I didn't, you don't realise the size of someone when you're looking at them on a film or TV show until you actually meet them. So yeah, he was a nice guy.
Hmm. And I remember some from the golden age as well too. Olivia de Havilland. Of course, you had Charlie Chaplin, and he started the movement with Mary Pickford and others. When at the time back in the day, you were actually employed by a movie studio. You're employed by MGM. You're employed by
Mm,
Columbia. You're employed by Warner Brothers. You never ever mixed studios. And Charlie Chaplin, Mary Pickford, and the others were like, "This is ridiculous. We should be able to choose our own roles instead of being tied." And that's how they got United Artists. Remember those
yeah,
days, it was like, you were tied to one studio.
yeah, yeah. And but again, Laurel and Hardy were the same, weren't they? They were tied to how Roach, was it Roach Studios?
Hmm.
And they were the two of my all-time favourite comedy duo. They are Laurel and Hardy. I absolutely love them. Thought their
Oh,
film.
yes.
When I was in the recent film that they did with Steve Coogan and um, John C. Reilly, who they did an amazing job as Laurel
Mm,
and Hardy.
wow.
Um,
Hmm. That is
did the
something. That is something
sorry,
too.
go
And
ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'd say I was in the theatre scene with them. That was pretty good, but I never got to see them perform, which is a bit disheartening for me, because as I say, that being my favourite guys, I'd have liked to have seen how they portrayed it in real life, but they did a good job on the time when I watched on the TV.
Hmm. And also too, like the ones actually did things in real life were the Three Stooges. They got like bunk heads, poke eyes,
Yeah,
and clunk like that, or punch somebody. Like what they said. Those were not like this, like that. Those actually pow like that, and
yeah,
actually poking the eyes. And they made trips to a hospital like every day.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of them, well, they used to do a lot of stunts, didn't they, in them days? Used
Hmm.
to do all their stunts. People like Harold Lloyd, and Chaplin as well. So Chaplin done most of his own stunts.
Hmm. And of course, now it's just like with the insurance issues and everything. I think the only person that does his own stunts is Tom Cruise. He's probably
Yeah,
the last guy they'll ever do his own stunts. Tom Cruise.
yeah, yeah. Jackie Chan used to, didn't he? But I think given that he doesn't do so much fighting now in his films, does he? Seems to sort of keep out of that, which is wise, I suppose, for his age. But
Hmm.
Tom Cruise, yeah, that was, yeah. He did the Mission Impossible over at St Paul's Cathedral. Was the last Mission Impossible that they did.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was just had the one little scene in St Paul's as a like a dignitary at a funeral. Yeah, but that was an interesting day. He's a very nice guy. Very nice guy. Just on there thanking everybody at the end for turning up. And long day.
Hmm. And of course, long days and everything else, and of course, that we'll talk about what's coming up in 2021 as well too. In the meantime, where can we find all your where can we find your works at?
You can go on my webpage, www.davidjbiscoe.org, or I'm on Facebook. Sadly, I got banned from Twitter.
Oh my God. What'd you do this time to piss somebody off? What did you do?
Well,
What did you say?
well, it was a really innocuous comment. I am a big soccer fan, and my favourite football team is Tottenham Hotspur. And somebody had tweeted that if a rival team, which they called was West Ham, if they finished above Spurs, then the Spurs manager should be sacked. And I'd just replied, yes, and Daniel Levy, who is the Tottenham chairman, who controls the funding, should be sent to the gallows. That was it. And then the next thing I know, I've been permanently suspended from there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've seen other tweets on there that are just, hateful, and you think, how have you got away with that? And it's just bizarre. But it goes back to the censorship again.
It's so sad too that with the whole social media thing, and I had a couple of events that happened recently, and I was liking everybody's thinking. Next thing you know, I got banned from liking and commenting. I was like, I went through hell the last couple of days. There are people went through worse, and they're getting away with it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just running rampant like crazy. But then when it comes to sports, you can pretty much, say what you want as long as it stays on the good side. If the law agrees with them, it's okay. If the law does not agree, then you get banned. You're right. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah. Facebook's the same. I've got a friend that's constantly getting banned because it's not things that he says that gets him banned. It's the memes and the pictures that he puts up, and because they're not, I don't find them offensive. I just find them fun. If you've got to be able to laugh at yourself in life, to get along, and you can't walk around and be offended by everything all the time. But he's constantly in Facebook jail, he calls it. But we don't know if it's someone. You don't know whether it's someone reporting you or whether it is actually the mediators looking in and saying, "Oh, that content's a bit offensive. We're going to remove it."
Or you got those so-called fact checkers out there, so they could be paid by some organization. You're right. So.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And of course, we can still find you on social media. And what's coming up for the very talented actor David Biscoe in 2021? We'll find out in just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosensia of Missing, available on paperback and ebook. We'll be back with David Biscoe after this timeout. We're back with the very multi-talented actor, David Biscoe, here on the Mike Wagner Show, based out of the UK. And just had a great time just talking about, some of the social media, your amazing career. You've been in film, TV, and, whatever else. And how to keep things going. And, just amazing talent you are, David. And what can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, David?
Hopefully bigger and better roles. I just did. I've signed a non-disclosure thing, so I can't say too much about it. But it is a current. It's going to be a TV show, and it's current affairs that have been going on last year. So I did a Zoom recording with a bunch of actors, and then I think I've got 2 days on that. So hopefully, more of that. I might, hopefully get my scripts done, and I'm really tempted to go back into theatre and do a bit more theatre, but time constraints and stuff, and obviously with COVID, it depends whether the restrictions are lifted and people can go back in. So hopefully be seeing some of that.
Mm-hmm. And we're looking forward as well too. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Biggest influence has to be my late wife. She was, she encouraged me all the time. Sadly, no longer with us. Passed away 5 years ago. So she was constantly by my side and pushing me. So, and then I've got another friend called Paula. She's always posting and sharing stuff, which is really good as well. Mm-hmm. She always spots me in TV shows and stuff and puts them up on social media.
That's amazing. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
What about acting or about anything?
Anything.
About anything. Be happy and be healthy. And to be healthy, you have to be happy, I think.
I love that combination. Happy, healthy, healthy, happy. Joy, joy. So I like
Yes,
that.
exactly.
Oh, that's very good. Once again, veteran actor David Biscoe here on Mike Wagner Show. David, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people check out your works?
Yes, you can go on www.davidjbiscoe.org. There's also a thing called V-Show cards. If you look on there, it's like a platform, a bit like Spotlight. You can find me on Spotlight as well, and social media, the usual platforms. But you can look for me on Twitter, but it'll say I'm suspended. And hopefully next year again. Yeah, as soon as these projects are up and running, I'll keep you informed. So you can put them out there as well.
Sounds good. And you can also do us a favor. It's okay to create a second Twitter account. That's all. It's okay.
Well, they've told me that I can't. It says if I attempt to make a second Twitter account, then that will be suspended too.
Oh, okay. Well, more on a developing story, and maybe that's another project you can do. I just got banned on Twitter. Write a script about that.
Yeah, YouTube channel about being banned on Twitter. Oh, you
Exactly.
can look at, yes. You can look at my show reels and things on Twitter, on YouTube.
Mhm.
If you just type in David J. Biscoe, they'll come up.
Okay. All right. Well, check those out. Once again, David, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch. You've been absolutely terrific.
Thank you very much, Michael.